Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Pretend Problems Podcast. I am Shane Gillis.
I don't know who Shane's podcast writer is.
All I know is we're trying to drive some traffic to this show. And right now, he seems like the guy to do it.
I'm Tom Segura.
Whoa.
If we're going to drive traffic.
Oh, shit.
I'm Christina Pachitsky.
We're just about to get in trouble. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're doing that, all of that good stuff.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for sending in emails. We've got so many good ones to read today, and for leaving us nice iTunes reviews and posting it on your stories. Thank you.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep that Fergus spirit up with FHS. Yes.
Ugh. All right. Well,
I had to help my sister learn cheers when she was little to make the cheerleading squad. So I know them all.
oh, that's very sweet.
Oh, now is it sweet? Now is it sweet?
What should we start with? We've got some stories.
I think
to tell
you should
today.
start with your hotel.
Okay. So I had my first paranormal experience of my life over the weekend, and I will never recover. I'm mentally damaged. I'm emotionally scarred. I have been terrified of ghosts my entire life. I can't watch any scary movies that involve ghosts. I just saw the trailer for The Ring when I was in middle school, and I had to sleep with my mom for about a month.
Yeah, I've never been affected by scary movies until Blair Witch Project came out. Mm-hmm. And I lived in an apartment at the time. My son had just been born. And I got back from the movie, and we went in when it was daytime and came out when it was nighttime. And Blair Witch Project, if you haven't seen it, it is, and I know you haven't, but it's not ghosty. It's what ify.
Yeah.
And a what ify movie will fuck me up more than if you show me some scary stuff.
Yeah.
So it leaves it to your imagination. So your brain is already picturing all these things. And I couldn't park in the parking lot of this apartment building. I had to park across the street. And it's in Minnesota, but I was on the St. Paul side. So it's like the farming. So there's like wheat way up over my car. It's the first time in the history of my life I got out of my car and ran as fast as I could to somewhere safe. It fucked me up badly.
Well, that concept of that it doesn't really show you what the scary thing is. I was talking with your friend Christian about it in Mexico, that's why it fucked so many people up, because it's the idea of whatever you personally are most afraid of, that's what he becomes.
Yeah.
Right? So it just allows you to be the scariest person for yourself, is to just imagine what you're most afraid of. So anyway, The Conjuring, anything like that, absolutely not. You could never pay me enough money to watch it, because I have to stay by myself on the road all the time. Mm-hmm. No, thank you. So I had shows in Rosemont and Chicago over the weekend. And the first night was in Rosemont. I was staying in a hotel for just one night. And I'm staying in a hotel right by the airport. This is like not an old-timey hotel. This is just a regular, seemingly normal hotel. And I went to bed. And I had been trying to fall asleep for maybe like 5-10 minutes. And my eyes are closed, but I noticed that the digital alarm clock, the light from it keeps getting so bright that I'm like squinting my eyes and kind of blinking, being like, what the fuck is going on with this alarm clock light? It'll get super, super, super bright, and then it'll dim back down. And then a little time will pass, get super bright again, dim back down. And this isn't on like a regular pattern where it's like, oh, there's something going on with the breaker. It's like something weird is happening, but I'm just like, okay,
Is it Morse code? Do you know Morse code?
I don't know Morse code, but probably was like about to die, bitch, or something terrifying. So this light,
I love this so much.
this light keeps getting bright and dark. It's just kind of weird, but I'm ignoring it. And then I hear something drop in my room, like a loud sound of something just dropped from somewhere. So I sit straight up in bed. I immediately just have the chills and feel freaked out. I turn the lights on and I walk out of bed, and I notice that my key card is on the ground. My key card was nowhere near the edge of the desk that it was on. There is no reason for it to be on the ground, for it to have dropped. Like, the AC was like coming on and off, but not strong enough to move it anywhere. I didn't like set it on the edge of the desk. It has now fallen on the ground. And I just got the worst sensation over my whole body, because when I've heard of people having ghost experiences, a lot of the time you hear stories about them just fucking with you, right? It's just like small, weird little, almost like prank things. And I get back in bed, and I'm also feeling I'm getting really, really cold. It feels like the room gets really, really cold, like colder than the thermostat says. I wonder what's going through your head right now. It gets super cold. And so I'm sitting there feeling like, well, what am I going to do? Because there's nothing I really can do right now. It's too late to do anything, go anywhere else. So I decided to Google the name of my hotel plus haunted, thinking like when you find like a weird mole on your body and you're like, I'm just going to like Google this plus cancer just because I know it's not going to be. And then of course it's like, yeah, you have cancer. Like I thought for sure I was going to put the name of my hotel and haunted in, and nothing was going to pop up, and that was going to help me go back to sleep. I type this into Google search, and immediately all of these hits come up. And it said that a few years ago, like not a super long time ago, a 19-year-old girl died in this hotel because she got locked in the freezer of the hotel, and that they suspected foul play.
Foul play!
Oh my God, you scared me.
Oh. I'm
so on edge right now.
I'm just trying to be your Flavor Flav.
I'm so tense right now.
Oh my God, that's so funny that I just scared you by doing that.
I'm very jumpy. So...
Okay, get ready. Foul play alert!
And like that they had security camera footage or something, and it's just horrible thing to see, this like picture of this sweet, beautiful teenage girl who died in this hotel. And I just start shitting my pants because I'm like, oh my fucking God. I would have never thought that this hotel could be haunted. Again, it's like not an old one. It's by the airport. If you think of a haunted hotel, you think of like the Tuberculosis Inn, or like something that's like very like clearly an old hotel, like came from a completely different time frame. And
you think of an old man that would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Yes. Yeah. Not something like this. And Chad was driving to the next city, and so I called him. He didn't pick up. He had Bill Squire in the car. Mm-hmm. And you know, my dad and stepmom, I'm assuming, are asleep by now, so I don't want to call and wake them up. And it's such a terrifying feeling to be like, I think that there's a ghost in here and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I spent so much of my life trying to keep myself safe in my hotel room and like keep people out.
Right.
But once you feel like there's something in there with you, you're like, well, where the fuck am I going to go? Mm-hmm. Like, what am I going to do? And had essentially a sleepless night. I kept all the lights on. I was just like very jumpy, tossy-turny. Woke up the next morning completely on another planet, just like very out of it, still freaked out. Like,
I did call you.
Yes,
when I got back.
You did. Mm-hmm.
And you, I do not believe in ghosts.
Right.
So you did not want to talk to me for very long. Mm-hmm. I was trying to be supportive, and I was trying to tell you, I don't know what happens that's my whole position. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything that happens in the afterlife. Mm-hmm. But you definitely were like, well, I can let you go. I'll just sleep with the lights on. I can let you go. Mm-hmm. So you were ready to not deal with a non-ghost believer.
Well, I think I've mentioned it on the podcast. I have a little bit of a complex with you. You are the smartest person I know, which I know you don't like when I say big compliments like this, but you're the you're the smartest person I know. You know, he's in Mensa, all this shit. And I know that I'm smart too, but Chad has a brain that works like a computer sometimes. And so there are just certain things in our relationship where like we'll be playing darts and you have to do very quick subtraction to get your new amount of points. And I'm always a little self-conscious, like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going slower than he would. And like,
But
I
I've
just,
never like said that to you. I've never been
I
like,
know.
hustle up, bitch. 168. Figure it out.
I know, but like when we play cribbage and stuff, you count in a heartbeat. You've also been playing your whole life, but you know, sometimes it just like takes me a second to put it all together. And
I never judge you for any of that. And I certainly don't judge you for this ghost stuff. It's just, I don't. So I try to tell you on the phone, if something like that happens, I will challenge the situation. I will pick the key card back up. I will put it way back on the desk and be like, all right, do it again. If you want me to be scared, do it again. And then I'll shut the lights off. And then if it happens again, then you can bet your ass I'm about to jerk off to a ghost.
jerk off to a ghost.
Why not?
Oh
Be like, you're in here. If this is your room, you're going to watch.
You're gonna
deal
Louis
with it.
C.K. this dead person after they've
Absolutely.
already been through enough.
I will
They've
ask
been
them.
through death.
I will ask them like he did. Yes.
I did not think that's what we were going to talk about on the podcast today, is you jerking off in front of a ghost. But
Well, I think they're stuck in the room too.
no,
They're not?
I think they can like go between.
Oh, I thought they had to stay in the room.
Rooms.
That's why I was like, well, then you're going to watch me do some shit. You're going to scare me to death.
Well, she didn't die in my room.
Oh, yeah. I also forgot it was a young girl. I was thinking like older ghost when I was saying that.
Oh yeah,
Older man ghost.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was picturing a teenage girl. So
Sorry about that. For the record, I had forgotten about what kind of ghost this was. I was just thinking old man ghost. Oops.
enjoy the last episode of our podcast.
Anyone want to buy a house?
Anyway, I just was a little like, I wanted to feel, and you weren't not being supportive for sure. You were totally there for me, but I just was like, I was self-conscious about talking about it with you, like, and really telling you how truly terrified I was, because I felt like you were going to be like, oh my God, ghosts aren't real. She's being ridiculous.
But I wasn't being like that at all. I was saying I have no idea, and what is happening sounds insane. And then plus you add that you Googled that shit, and
Yeah, can I?
yeah,
Okay, so sleepless night, wake up, just like ready to get the fuck out of this hotel. And the night before, when I checked into the hotel, I was like kind of looking at the people in the lobby and just like walking around, and I was like, is there a Korn concert next door tonight? Like,
I love that. That's where your head went to.
oh, I was telling you, I was like, everybody looked like they were an extra in a System of a Down music video. Like, just everybody had the exact same Hot Topic look. Mm-hmm. And I go down to the lobby to check out the next morning, and there is a gigantic banner that has been hung up since the night before that says paranormal experience, follow the hallway, ghost hunters in town, blah blah blah, with this like demonic like artwork they'd put on there.
It
like
looked horrible.
Yeah, like a demon with a face melting. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I could not. I told you, I was like, what are the odds? And you're like, well, after what you experienced, pretty high. They're probably like, yeah, this is a gold mine of paranormal experiences in this hotel. And I just, you never think staying at a hotel by the airport, right, like, you don't think like a Ramada Inn is haunted.
Yeah, you think you're gonna get bed bugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're
COVID,
right?
But not haunted. So
you'll have a ghost take your body over.
Anyway, that was so terrifying. And then I drove into the city, into Chicago for my shows there, checked into my hotel there, and I'm sitting on the bed doing some work, and I'm hearing dripping.
What kind of work?
You're special.
Oh, never mind. I didn't want that to be the answer.
Oh.
I was trying to be dirty.
Oh.
Damn it.
No, I'm just being helpful.
Walked into that one.
I was watching Chad's, like, the new cuts of his special. Anyway, I'm like hearing dripping, and I get up from the bed, and there is water dripping from two different places in the bathroom. And then I walk over to the front door, and there's water dripping from a third place by the front door. So I call the front desk. They switched me. Anyway, I had to like get switched to two different rooms after that. But you know, in a hotel room where there's the sprinkler head and there's a sign 2 inches from it that says, "Do not hang your clothes on here." Some high dipshit, and I'm sure he was high because my room smelled like pot super strongly from coming from above, hung his clothes on there. It popped the sprinkler head off and he flooded the room above me.
That's so insane.
I don't know what I've done to anger the travel gods, but it was a tough weekend of sleep. So yeah, I think I had my first ghost experience.
Yeah, that is it is weird. Like I said, I don't believe in ghosts when I'm alone.
When you're alone?
Yeah. Like last night we were lying in bed and we heard a noise and you immediately shot up and you're like, "What was that?" And normally it's very easy for me. I go, "Oh, Poe probably had a shoe and dropped it." That's what I would think if I were alone. But the way you asked me, I laid there for about 5 more minutes. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Did you really? Oh my God. And I'm always just putting you in my mind as my protector. And so when you're like, "It's nothing," I'm like, okay, Chad thinks it's nothing. Then I think it's nothing.
You grabbed my arm and you're like, "Thank you for keeping me safe." I'm like, "Bitch, I will jump through that window if this door opens."
You better not.
Just take a header off the deck.
Yeah. So that was that. And then ironically, you weren't on last week's episode of Middle of Somewhere.
Right.
So Sai did an episode with Dan St. Germain and Ali Sultan.
Yep. 2 comedians that have new specials out.
Yes. Both fantastic comics. Go watch them.
True.
Ali shared on Middle of Somewhere that he and his girlfriend are currently dealing with fucking crazy ghost situation in their apartment. And so anyway, if you listen to both Middle of Somewhere and Pretend Problems, it's been a really haunted couple of weeks, but you have to go listen to Ollie's. Like if you guys are into ghost stories, I was wide awake on the flight home yesterday after sleeping for 3 hours. I mean, his stories are so creepy of what's going on in his apartment. Like, I don't know. I can't believe you don't. I really believe in ghosts.
And I believe you. I mean, I don't think that you are just doing this for attention. I believe you are. We're absolutely terrified.
No, I know that you believe that I believe. I'm just saying, I think it's interesting when people are just like, absolutely not. There's no way that they could exist.
That's not me.
Okay.
I'm just saying I don't.
Yeah.
I've never had those experiences. I believe that we're, my thing. I'm a hippy dippy do. I think we're all stardust from an explosion, and I think that the energy goes back. And maybe it is like that energy that doesn't dissipate or something. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
That is where I come from on most things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know that is wild for an American man in his 40s to say out loud. A what? A what? It is wild to hear someone that looks like me say, "I don't know."
Thank you.
Very rare.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm not doing it for attention. I'm saying
I
I'm
know.
stupid.
No, you're nice to
it's
not be so close-minded.
Well, I did not have that experience. Mm-hmm. My hotel experience was I was watching the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and there was this one guy that kept making a mistake. So I was like, "What is happening, you fucking idiot?" And then I had to leave. So I walked outside, family of 4 trying as fast as they could to get into their room. And I was like, "Oh, well." I wanted to yell back into the room, pretending like there was someone there. "I'm sorry I swore at you. I'll bring your ice cream right back up." But instead I just sheepishly shut my door and was like, head down.
Oh, and I know you did it. I can picture it perfectly.
Oh, I for surely did it.
Yeah, for surely did it.
For surely.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing that happened in Chicago? And then if
Please.
you are interested in talking about your comment section, that could be fun.
Oh.
With your clip.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I'm back to selling my own merch now after shows. I tried to use the company to hire a seller, and I basically lost money, and it was a real financial travesty. So I'm trying to sell my own merch again, like a little clown boy after shows with my little card reader, just my own little lemonade stand, doing it myself. And so many of you are so fun and wonderful after shows. I have to give a shout out to Alex, who bought me bought me a pickleball
What print do?
paddle. Yes, it's like what that print do? What print do?
What that print do?
What that print do? I think.
Oh, I thought it was what print do. Sorry, dude.
Anyway, you and your daughter went to Dick's and you picked out a pickleball paddle for me, and you bought me a really nice ass pickleball paddle and got me weed stuff. And anyway, that was just so generous and kind. So some of you are truly like wonderful.
He's so supportive and so kind,
generous,
just to comedians in general.
Yeah, very sweet note with it. So thank you so much again for that. And then some people are very funny and just do like such bizarre things socially. This older woman came up and she goes, "May I take your picture?" And I said, "You mean together?" And she goes, "I'm not very photogenic." And she just held her phone up and took a picture of my face. I was like, it's so bizarre. And I've had a couple older men do that, but without asking. They just walk by and do that and take a picture. Fun. And I'm like, oh, okay. just don't be weird about it, you know?
That woman seems weird. Like she's going to go home and she has a son chained to a radiator. And she's like, "You're going to marry this one. That's who you're going to marry.
We gonna catch her.
I got a picture for you."
Yeah. It was, that was a special moment. So anyway, sometimes the merch line comes up with the...
And it's so great. I mean, I have said this just for all female comedians. It has to be so ridiculous, the shit that you guys have to put up with.
Yeah.
I get absolutely none of that.
Yeah.
I get, are you out here to take a picture with us? I'm like, yep. And I go, "Arms around you, okay?" And if they say yes, I do it.
Yeah.
If they hesitate, I just keep it here. We do a fucking gangster pose like that. And then, I get gifts. Mine's mostly alcohol, some nice cards. I get some people coming through that say, like, "Oh man, your podcasts have helped." Aww. I have one guy came through, debilitating depression, said how much he enjoys this podcast and how much just listening to, I don't know. He didn't say this part, but listening to other people have problems. I don't know if it's like, makes him kind of feel like, oh, okay,
yeah, totally.
This isn't just me. So I thought that was really neat, but I can't imagine the shit that you guys have to go through. And I don't say, I never ever say female comedian when I'm talking about an act.
Right.
But when I'm talking about this, I'm saying comedians that are females, let me say that, have to put up with so much dog shit.
It's insane.
I just can't believe it. Like drive-by pictures.
Yeah. It's very violating. It's such a weird... It's less violating for you to want to take a picture with me, which seems unusual.
Sure.
But for you to just walk by and take my photo feels strange. It makes me feel like an animal at the zoo.
It feels like they're going to make a profile.
Yeah.
On social media.
Yeah.
They're just like, "Hey, we need a shot for the profile." Ting.
Yeah. Yep. So.
You know what I did on social media?
Please tell everybody.
I posted a clip. Now, let me explain something to you. There are times when a comedian has a definite, defined bit.
Yes.
Okay? Norm Macdonald is one of my all-time favorite comedians. Mm-hmm. I think he is brilliant, and I don't use that word very lightly. I think his shallow grave bit is one of the funniest fucking things that has ever been said out loud. He also has, I found out, a joke where he says he must say something like a first grade teacher or like you can teach first grade if you're in second grade, something like that.
Sure.
Okay. Because, which by the way, those are the kind of jokes I don't think are anybody's, because I've been hearing that since I was little.
Yeah.
I heard it for so long when I was little that when we were going from 4th grade to 5th grade, our teacher asked the entire class, "What are you going to do next year in 5th grade?" And me and my buddies answered, "We're going to be substitute teachers for 4th grade because you've taught us everything we need to know," right? We were just like being shits.
Yeah.
But that joke's been going on forever and ever and ever. So in the way that I think he's such a brilliant man, I also don't think he can claim that. Right?
Right. Yeah.
I was working on a bit one time for 6 months about the N-word in To Kill a Mockingbird. And then Louis C.K. mentioned it casually on his television show. And so I'd been doing it for 6 months. I did it the next week and everybody's like, that's a Louis C.K. bit.
Oh, God.
Louis C.K. could burp the alphabet and people would be like, your words have letters, you fucking hack. So there are times where it's like, well, fuck you, that doesn't make sense. But there are also times where people are purposely stealing. So I understand where people are coming from.
Yeah.
I put out a clip, right? Where I was talking to this lady who was a teacher and I go, I said something, we were doing math.
Yeah.
And she goes, I know the math. And I go, I know you know the math. I was just seeing how smart you were. And she goes, I am smart. I'm a teacher. And I go, what do you teach? And she said, first grade. And I said, oh man, you know how smart you have to be to teach first grade? You have to be in second grade. So that's what I said.
Yeah.
I posted this. And by the way, that's the first line. And then it's about a bunch of other shit after that.
Yeah.
I posted in my thingy, what's it called?
Reels? Instagram?
Yeah, in the reels, but what's the caption?
Oh, in the caption.
I posted I wrote, the first line is hack. Please forgive me. I know that. I hope you enjoy the rest of the clip. And then it is fucking Norm's Army to the rescue.
Oh, no.
And I've been struggling with that.
Yeah.
Because I don't steal material. My one rule is if I ever hurt comedy in any way, I'm out. I have loved comedy for way too long to be a reason that it starts to suck. And so that has been tough. And I don't really know what to do other than, could I take it down? Yes. Do I want to stand my ground that this thing that is, it's like if Louis, we keep saying, talking Louis C.K.
Yeah.
If Jim Gaffigan was like, oh, I called the bowling alley and I said, hey, is your refrigerator running? And they said, yeah. And I go, hey, you better go catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we were doing in second grade, prank calling. So that wouldn't be considered a Gaffigan bit. Anyways, I'm sad that it happened that way. I'm sad that it was Norm. I can't believe I didn't see that joke that he did because I've fucking seen every single thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
His Conan clips with Courtney Thorne Smith. She's in a movie with Carrot Top and he stays out there while she's interviewing for that. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Of course, the big moth story that he does is incredible. And I'm just bummed out, but also fuck that.
Yeah.
I have two very different attitudes existing in the same space about this.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do yet.
Yeah, you and I talked about it this morning, the different options for it. And you and I handle these things very differently, which is totally fine.
Right.
So I gave my 2 cents on it and you were like, well, but listen, it works. So my 2 cents is that when something like this happens, you can't go to battle in the comment section with each person who is going to do something like this because they clearly didn't read the caption. There's a quote I love that's something like, when people are committed to misunderstanding you, then it's already a losing battle, right? And I know that's not the case for everything, but I think people who troll online, you're already not in the same camp of people. That's somebody who is looking to bring people down and be negative, and they're not happy with their own lives. And it's just like, I don't want to get pulled down into the mud with these people. And
I like to go throw haymakers.
Yes, it made me laugh today when you were like, well, but listen, but I did respond and I was able to convince somebody. But even if that did work, which it did for one person, do you want to spend your time and energy?
No, that's the only person I tried it on.
Right. And, we joke a lot about your feelings on the road because you get very frustrated when people are driving like idiots or not the same way that you drive. And the way you describe it to me is like, well, if nobody tells them they're wrong, then they're going to keep doing this. And to me, that's like a really heavy burden. That's like a big workload to shoulder every day of your life on the road, that you're going to try to patrol strangers and fix them.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus carried a cross up a hill. Nice try, bro. I'm shouldering everybody's driving decisions.
Yeah.
I'm obviously just kidding, so relax.
But I'm like, this, like, how about that? Because that stuff doesn't affect me at all. That stuff rolls off me
I don't
immediately.
believe you. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think that sometimes comments
Oh,
stick
no,
with you.
I meant driving.
Oh, driving. Okay.
Driving, that stuff, they're in and out of my mind.
So yeah.
But comments, you're right. Comments bother me.
Let me explain. The first comment I saw was, nice Norm Macdonald joke, write your own material, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, I mentioned this is hack in the first line of my caption. Mm-hmm. This joke has been around forever. Yeah. In parentheses, I love Norm, but yes, even before him.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry you didn't like it or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then this guy responds back, sorry for being a troll. Sometimes I get, I can't remember what he said. Something about sometimes, I get hot when I see something like this. Yeah. And I was like, no sweat, totally get it. Have a great weekend. He wrote back, you too. So that was it.
Which is like, that does not happen.
It doesn't happen at all. I'm the troll whisperer. Now, the second comment I saw was, you crossed a line, buddy. You waited till Norm Macdonald died of cancer to steal his material. Oh my God. At that point, I was like, zip, and just let him fucking roll in, because I am not interested in doing that.
Yeah, that's
there is no chance I would steal a joke.
No. Yeah, that's.
Who am I? I would never.
Call back to our other episode where
our producer wants to know who stole my joke so badly.
I know. And it sucks so much when you see a comic do it, because you want to be able to go like, who the fuck would do that? Like, why would we ever risk everything we've built to knowingly steal somebody's joke? Like, why would you do that? And then you fucking see people do it. You're like, well, cool, man.
Yeah, I just couldn't. But again, I obviously said something that he said, even though, again, it's been around as long as like the first joke. Yeah. So anyways, let's move on. Let's do our dates.
Okay.
And then we have some awesome questions.
We really do.
I have no idea. I don't look at them. But I'm sure they are.
I picked some good ones, guys. So this weekend, I'm at Acme in Minneapolis. All 6 shows are sold out.
Boom.
And have been sold out for a few days. This is
boom
craziness. Thank you so much to any of you in Minneapolis who are coming out. It means the world to me. That's so, so nice. And then I shoot my special the week next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I shoot my special next weekend. What the fuck? In Madison, I'm there April 4th through the 6th. I'm shooting the special on the 6th. There are not many tickets left for the entire weekend, so just grab something if you're there and want to come. And then I'm in Sacramento, Salt Lake City, Vegas, Denver, Kansas City. Then Chad and I do the Fully Loaded Burt Tour, which is in Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. And then here are the rest of my dates for this year. They aren't all available yet in terms of tickets on my website, but if you go to kelseycook.com, they will all be up there shortly. So in July, I'm in Charlotte and Raleigh. Coming to North Carolina, I'm excited. In August, I'm in Indianapolis. September, I'm in Baltimore area and Fort Collins. October, I'm in Omaha, Phoenix. November, I'm in Providence and Dania Beach. And then in December, I'm in Austin and San Antonio. So Texas, I'm finally coming. And yeah, I'm excited.
That's great. You say you're excited to go to North Carolina until you're there in July. Now,
that's true.
I am. April 11th, I'm going to be in Brooklyn at the Bell House. April 12th, I'm going to be at the Facca Welba Kitty Boston Bass. And then 19th and 20th, I think it is, I'm going to be in Milwaukee at the Improv. May, I'm going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio at Go Bananas. I'm going to be at the Comedy Mothership in Austin. Then in June, I'm going to be in Detroit. Nope, that's not right. I'm going to be in Springfield, Missouri in June. Then we go on that Burt dealy bob. Then I'm going to be July, I'll be in Detroit. And then September, Spokane and Tampa. October, Madison and Columbus, Ohio. November, Denver, San Francisco, Sacramento. December, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas. Folks, ChadDaniels.com to buy a ticket.
Hell yeah. KelseyCook.com. Are you ready for questions?
I am so ready. This is my favorite part. This has become my favorite part of the program.
Oh, good. So as always, guys, if you want us to give advice to any of your listener questions, it's pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay, so this first one is titled Listener Write-In. They say, "What's up, Chad and Kelsey? I love both of your comedy and listen every week to the pod."
Thank you.
Thank you. I discovered Kelsey's comedy during The Rona on TikTok and Chad on the documentary I Need You to Kill. You're both awesome.
Thank you.
So the reason I'm writing in is that I'm a bit conflicted on how to proceed with dating after a breakup. I was in a 13-year-long relationship that ended in August of last year, and we're both in a good place and don't hold any animosity towards each other, but we did live together / have pets together, so it was pretty hard to end a relationship, move, etc. all at once. We got together in high school, and for a long time it was great, but I think we just stopped communicating and gradually grew apart. I still care about her and wish her all the happiness in the world. That being said, I was a bit messed up after it ended and really just tried to focus on getting my shit together. I got a better job with higher quality of life, my own place. I briefly tried the dating apps and quickly realized it was not my jam and that I don't feel altogether ready for that. Fast forward to now, I've been talking every day with somebody I grew up with in my hometown. It started pretty randomly. We're both hockey fans and we're texting back and forth about our team, and it just grew from there. We have really good chemistry. We have a ton in common, including a lot of shared interests, and I really like her a lot. The problem I'm having is just not really knowing if I'm ready to jump back into another relationship this soon. I didn't go looking for this. It just kind of formed organically and feels right. So up to this point, I've just rolled with it, but I don't want to start something too soon and possibly hurt her feelings because I haven't taken the time to heal and move on from my last relationship. My emotions have me bouncing back and forth between being anxious and sad to excited and happy, and I have a real disconnect between my brain and my emotions right now. I'm definitely going to see a therapist, but I was curious if you guys had any thoughts. Thanks. I also just want to assure Chad that we're going to take great care of Pat Maroon up in Boston. Go Bruins.
First of all, watch your dirty mouth. You're not going to take care of anybody. He takes care of himself. Secondly, this may as well have been titled How to Fuck Up a Friendship. I'm just teasing. So can I go?
Yes.
So first of all, getting together in high school and growing apart is easily the most common thing that happens in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Because your brain isn't, I say it all the time, your brain isn't formed till you're 25. It's hard because you're not even the people you're going to be. If you think about that, you become the person you're going to be, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, some people in their 40s. Yeah. And then you get half of your life to be that person. But it takes so long to form the clay of the human you are actually going to be. Yeah. So with that said, now we've moved on from the high school thing and you're wondering about this girl that you're texting with.
Yeah.
I think if you don't feel ready, I don't think you are. I think you would know. Yeah. And I think it's actually really cool that you know you're not ready, because most people after a long relationship would want to get out there and at the first crack of a woman showing them attention would want to jump in and have that attention and the sexy time and everything that goes with that. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you are actually right, the fact that he is taking the time and understanding that maybe he's not ready and knowing the consequences if he does it.
Yeah.
I think you're ahead of the game on that. Should you do it? I can't say. If you want to go like have fun, do it with someone else, I would say first. Yeah. It just seems like, my mom used to always tell me the greatest way to ruin a friendship is to become roommates. Mm. And I think that might be a similar situation here. Yeah. Where if you don't think you're ready, because it sounds like she's into it too. Yeah. So if you guys both say yes and then you have to bail, it is going to hurt her, and maybe there's not a second chance on the table. I don't know. Yeah. But if you're slow playing it right now, keep slow playing it. I would say for anyone, make sure that you know you're ready to do something before you do it.
Yeah. I think just the fact that you wrote this email and like you said, you're being so thoughtful about it. You're being very self-aware. You want to go talk to a therapist about it. I think you're already in great shape, which is like you're way ahead of the curve for most people in this sort of a situation. We say a lot in our house and on the podcast, If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. So I agree with you where it's like, if you are even having the thought of, I don't know if I'm ready, you might not be ready. I will say also, though, that I think some people are really afraid to get back into a relationship and go, well, how am I going to know if I'm ready? How am I going to know if I'm ready? I think it's a little bit like becoming a parent. You're never going to be like 100% ready. And I think a lot of self-growth actually happens once you get into a relationship as well. I think you have to do as much as you can on your own and have a good relationship with yourself. But also you can be like, oh, I've done a bunch of work on myself. I'm in a great place. I'm ready for a relationship. And then you get into one. And sometimes it takes having another person in your life reflecting back to you your weaknesses.
Jesus Christ, this feels like a personal attack. No, but it is true. Guilty as charged. I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay.
But I just do want to say guilty as charged. That's exactly what happened. I did work on myself. I thought I was ready. You and I started hanging out initially, and I went full fucking panic. I'm like, I'm going to ruin this. I'm going to do this. And then now look. So, okay.
I wasn't thinking of you when I was saying that.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's for everybody.
Sure.
That I lived alone for 3 years between my divorce and moving in with Chad. And you can really get into your own groove of like, oh yeah, like I've done all this work. I'm ready. And then you get into a relationship, you move in with the person, and you have things reflected back to you of like, oh, like, okay, that's we talk about the dishes thing of sometimes I will put a dirty dish in the sink rather than just putting it directly into the dishwasher. But when you live alone for a few years, nobody's around to like make you do your dishes right away. You can kind of just live like a trash person, which I've talked about on stage. Just be a dirt person. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think a good relationship does make you grow and it can make you be the best version of yourself. So if you don't feel ready, that's fine. I'm just saying, don't expect yourself to be like quote unquote perfect in order to get into a relationship. And I hope you're also having open conversations with her about it, like maybe seeing where she's at and if she, like what her expectations are. Maybe she also wants to go really slow. It doesn't have to be this black and white thing of like, I can't talk to you until I'm ready. Maybe it's like, you can go slow. Who knows? But
yeah. That's great.
Yeah. But
also, maybe we can cut this part, but your eyes right now, looking sharp.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll totally cut that part out. My boyfriend being loving.
Well, I just didn't know if people wanted to hear it, but good luck. And we again would always love to hear a follow-up. Always love to hear what's happening with the decision you made and what happened with it.
Yeah, and also I wanted to give a quick shout out. So when Chad shot his special, he got a bunch of gifts from fans and listeners, and somebody made a Pretend Problems podcast bracelet, which I have stolen. I thought it was a gift, but apparently I've stolen it. And I just have to say, whoever made this, if you're listening right now, please, can you write into pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com? Let us know who you are, because I think it would be really cool to have the person make a bunch of these. We like pay for them to make a bunch of these. And then when people join Patreon, when we start one of those, that could be part of their gift for joining Patreon, is that you get a bracelet.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Anyway, I'm fucking obsessed. I've been wearing it all the time.
Yes, you have.
I love it. Okay. And thank you for writing in. That was a very nice.
Very good question.
Very nice question. Okay. This next one is called Burnt Out. They say, hi guys, like many, I'm sure I discovered you both from the viral video of Kelsey squaring up with Chad's not so secret admirer. Haha. Since then, I've been a loyal Pretend Problems listener. So thank you for the weekly laughs and thought-provoking combos. Thank you so much for becoming a listener after that. That's really nice to hear. As for my personal pretend problem, I've been feeling a bit lost job-wise. I've worked in childcare for the last 13 years. I'm 30 years old and never had a job outside of that. I've been a nanny for a few different families, and I've worked in a couple of preschools. I used to get a lot of joy and satisfaction out of my job, but lately all I feel is burnt out and resentment. The biggest problem is that if I did want to branch out and try something new, I'd be taking a massive pay cut as someone who would be starting with no other job experience. I can afford a little wiggle room, but most jobs I could get would be $10 plus less than I'm making now. I just feel stuck and overwhelmed and unsure what to do. Any advice is appreciated, jokes and all. Thank you guys. Thank you for writing in.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I think anyone that has dealt with other people's children for 13 years should get whatever fucking job they want.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be worth way more than a 4-year degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. This is probably going to sound very self-helpless podcasty, but I think if you are unhappy right now, yes, you might not be 20 anymore. It might feel really daunting to start over at 30, I believe is what you said you were
30, yeah.
at 30, but it will only get harder. Like if this is truly not the line of work you want to do, it's only going to get harder and harder to start over. And I think the sooner you make a change and start doing something you're passionate about, you will not regret that, because you hope that life is long. And if you have a long life doing something you really fucking hate, I mean, I just think if you don't change, 40-year-old you is going to look back at 30-year-old you and be like, why didn't we do something different then?
Yeah, I completely agree. You think it's going to be hard at 30, try it at 40.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I always tell my kids. And I also always tell them, you have to find something that you are really passionate about. That, I mean, this is advice that is as old as you're a first grade teacher. Well, you could teach a first grade if you're in second grade. It's been around as long as this, but I will tell you this advice, and it is, find something that makes you happy, and because of your passion, the money will come. Someone will see how passionate you are about it, and it will eventually become the career you want it to be. It takes a long time. I mean, we both started off doing stand-up comedy, and I would not wish the beginning of stand-up comedy on anybody, not on anyone.
No.
It was fun. You made friends. But the fact that you were driving, you're putting $40 worth of gas in your car to make $50.
Yeah.
No hotel. Then you had to drive back. I mean, it was a lot, but you know, we both really wanted to do it and really wanted to make it work. And then eventually it comes around. So I would say find something that you think is do you know what's going to make you the happiest? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would make a list, and then I would see, you know, where that list leads you as far as, you know, are 3 things on the list going to make you $20 an hour and another thing's going to make you 25?
Yeah.
Then I think you go with the 25 if it's same, but.
Yeah. My favorite book is called The Artist's Way, and it's like a 12-week course in creative recovery, which sounds really weird and woo-woo, but it's just a great book to kind of like reevaluate your life, take stock of where you are. And one of the exercises she has you do is the 5 imaginary lives question. And she says, if you could not start over, but if you could live 5 extra lives, what would you pursue in each of them? Like if that was just a guarantee that you could be 5 other things successfully, what would you want to do? And it's so interesting because if you let yourself really go there, I mean, you get flooded with shit of like, oh yeah, if I could guarantee that in another life I would have been successful at this, that would have been so fun. And then she's like, try incorporating a part of that into your life right now to just like do something for fun. So I always think that's a good exercise. If you are unsure of what to do next, maybe try doing that.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Should we write the 5 things and then tell them next episode?
I wrote mine a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So you got to write yours and then we'll share it.
Great.
Okay.
Done deal.
Awesome. We have to start incorporating, we want to do another segment on the show too, like a middle segment. Some podcasts do like, would you rather? So we don't want to do that because.
Yeah, but maybe you guys could, I know you're asking great questions about yourself, but maybe you could write in some questions that you want us to answer about either one another or ourselves.
Yeah.
And then maybe that could be the segment.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, try that.
Ask
Let's see
Kelsey,
if you guys
ask
want
Chad.
to write in. What's that?
Yeah. Ask Kelsey, ask Chad, but like ask Kelsey to ask Chad or ask Chad to ask Kelsey, sort of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or vice, whatever.
I like that. Ask
But yeah,
Kelsey.
Ask Chelsea. Yeah. Okay, so this next one is called Fully Loaded Question. They say, "Hi, hey guys, not emailing with relationship questions, although I'm sure I could use your help. Do you both have dates for when you're in the Fully Loaded lineup in June? Hoping to catch you both in Charleston or Savannah in June. Thanks. Love the podcast and your comedy. I do believe Chad is my spirit animal, LOL."
Oh, well, that's very nice.
Yeah. Do you have the exact dates?
I don't. We are there.
Yeah. We are there in June. I believe
it is Savannah and whatever else you said.
Charleston.
Yeah, we are in those. We're in that 5-city run.
Yeah.
And it's the second. So let's see, 8th and 9th. I'm gonna guess it's like the 13th.
I have it.
Okay.
June 12th, Macon, Georgia. June 13th, Charleston, South Carolina. June 14th, Savannah, Georgia. June 15th, West Palm Beach, Florida. June 16th, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Hell yes.
Yeah, that's gonna
be awesome.
That's gonna be great. Yeah, doing arenas.
Yeah.
Whew.
Very, very fun.
Okay, yes, thank you. We're excited for you to come see us. This next one is titled "Lights Can Stay On, Chad."
You better bring some fucking serious science, bruh.
They say, "Hi guys." Oh, what does that mean? I hate the postcast, but you guys do you. Kidding, love the podcast. Oh, must be a typo. Okay, I think they're just trying to be funny. I hate the podcast, but you guys do you. Just kidding, love the podcast. Just channeling my inner Chad. That's what I need. More of that in my life.
Yeah, please bring some more just kidding to her. She loves
my
it.
God. Anyway, I just read this article about leaving the lights on. Enjoy taking back the belt because you win, Kelsey. Thank you. So this article says it's by Money Talks News, and it says it's official.
Oh, Money Talks News?
Mm-hmm. The famous publication.
In that case, maybe it could be Flip-de-Flop and the Goop Goops.
It's official. You can stop turning lights off when you leave a room. Discover why experts say leaving the lights on no longer means you're wasting energy.
There's no fucking way, unless you have solar powered roof. You know who wrote this article? GE. General Electric bought Money Talks News. I'm sorry to be so negative, but I just don't believe this shit. It doesn't make any sense.
It's talking about the energy efficiency of today's bulbs, particularly LED ones. There's little need to worry about leaving lights burning. They say you could leave a dozen LED light bulbs switched on 24/7 and they would still consume less energy than what a typical fridge uses in a day.
Right. We've removed our refrigerator.
Yeah.
We've removed our dishwasher, our oven. We have one gas oven to cook, but we don't need to cook that much because we don't have a fridge. I can't believe
I win. I win. Next question.
It still uses. Hey, you know what uses less energy than 12 LED light bulbs? Turning them off.
I know. I do. I do turn them off.
No, you don't.
I do so.
We don't have to have this argument back and forth, but you don't.
I'm better than I was.
That's true.
And that's compromise. We'll be back at 5. Okay.
Money Talks News. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, though. That was nice of you to.
Thank you. Thank you, especially for me. Thank you.
But I still have the belt. What's this next one?
Whatever. It's titled "Happy in My Relationship but New into Stand-Up." They say, "Hello, Chad and Kelsey. Big fan of both your comedy and the podcast. Chad, it was great seeing you again in KC, and Kelsey, looking forward to seeing you in KC later this year."
Boom. Yes. Thank you for coming.
Now on to my question. I recently started doing open mics, and I want to be a stand-up comic. I'm just curious what the process is. Do you do open mics, then apply to festivals and go from there? I know this isn't relationship related, but thanks for your time. You can ask us anything. It's totally fine. Oh boy. Well, I'm sure you really enjoyed hearing us about 5 minutes ago go, "God, when you started stand-up, fucking sucks. Terrible. Would never do it again."
I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. No, I you know what? I didn't hate starting stand-up. I've loved it. It's just, it is, you have to love it.
It is a fucking grind. Of
It's a
course.
grind.
I said I've loved it since I was a little kid.
Yeah, you have to love it. It's just, this year is my 15th year of stand-up, and I just now this year feel like I've really started hitting like financial goals and like big career things, at least in terms of touring. But that is also not everybody's path. It does not take everybody 15 years.
Right. So I've been doing stand-up for 75 years. And I've just now started stealing my favorite comedians' jokes. So that's where I'm at. Different people have different paths. To be honest, though, yes, I would not even worry about the second step. I would start going to open mics and getting as much stage time as you possibly can, because the first, 4 months is going to be getting over stage fright. Then you're going to be able to figure out what makes the crowd laugh. And then you're going to end up fucking hating that. And you're going to end up trying to find what you actually want to say. And you're just going to start over with the audiences, rebuilding your act how you want it and figuring out how to get them to laugh at what you want them to laugh at. So it's a long process, but it is also very, very fun if you're into it. If you're into the grind, it can be great.
Yeah. And if you're up there and you are making people laugh, it's the greatest feeling in the world. So I would try to focus less on the like linear, I'm going to do this step, and I'm going to do this step, and I'm going to do this step. Focus on the actual process of, am I getting funny, or am I feeling more like myself on stage? Because the funnier you start to get, your local scene will take notice of that. And the more you're building that community of making friends in the scene, it's just, things do start to happen. I'm sure there will be like local competitions and stuff like that you can enter into, but just focus on getting better. And then I think those other things just naturally start to pop up.
Yeah. You'll be getting paid spots around town, and making friends is going to be great with everybody. I think the festival thing will come in time, but be patient. Be
patient. You'll probably also want to try to start, like when you're ready, getting host work at the clubs there in KC. But again, it might take longer than you want. You never know. Maybe it won't. But Good luck. Yes. Okay, we'll do one more. It's titled The Card Game. What was the card game you guys played that was good for your relationship but can also be used with friends? I've tried Googling it. My husband and I could use a refresh. Thank you.
It's strip poker. It's especially good for your friends.
Great for the family. Yeah. It is called We're Not Really Strangers, and it's fantastic. Okay. It's really good. There's another one too. There are so many, but my favorite is We're Not Really Strangers, because it's not like super sexual or weird. Like, you can actually play it with friends and just like a group of people, and it's just like good thought-provoking questions.
And there's 3 levels. So I think we've said it before, but there's surface, like what's your favorite weather? And then in level 3, it's like some real shit that you actually might not know about a partner that you've been with for a long time. Yeah. And that's what makes it kind of cool.
We've talked about that. Maybe that could also be the middle segment, is that we pull a card and ask each other.
As soon as they sponsor us.
I know.
Happy to. Just kidding. We already have the game. I don't think they make any more games.
That would be nice though. Well, that's it, guys.
Yeah. I think we need to turn the camera off. This new growing out this with the red tint and your eyeballs. Let's shut the camera off.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
I'm not sweet. I'm being a turd right now because
You think hitting on me is being a turd?
I have an agenda.
You're not being a turd.
Sorry to be gross, everybody. We're going to shut the camera off now.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Write into pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. Chad and I are going to go make out and do things.
Okay, bye.